Welcome back to our NFL picks where Peter is out, but Jason is in. Jason, our silent competitor who's been whooping our butts, and the only person to have an even record last week at 7-7 is joining us.
Alec, Chris, thanks for having me. It's about time. Now I've been showing out. I see Canas FE in the comments there. Correspondent Kfish. I've got to catch up with one of these days. But I've been consistent, so I'm totally expecting guys to bomb this week and be the worst week ever. Because I finally got my chance on the big show with you guys. Thanks for having me.
For sure. Luckily, we do have Peter's picks for each of the games, so we'll read them off as we go along and introduce the games. But let's first start off with the Thursday night game. Tennessee visiting Green Bay. Green Bay is a 3-point favorite. They stunned us all by winning the game against the Cowboys last week. None of us got that one right. Peter's going ahead and picking Tennessee. I totally see why. We're starting off with the hard one. I do not want to pick. And I'm going to go with Green Bay because I'm going to assume that they might actually be figuring things out.
See, this is one of those ones, Alec, where Chris, where the point spread doesn't add up to me. I think Tennessee's a better team. And these are the ones where I usually pick opposite, but I can't do it. I can't do it. And it's despite my Thursday night record, I'm going with Tennessee, taking the 3 points. I think they're the better team. I think they have more to play for. Green Bay's confidence is up and down and up and down and mostly down. So I'll go with Tennessee against my better judgment.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Tennessee as well. A couple weeks ago they played Kansas City pretty close. Last week I think the game at Denver they were down by 7, but Denver's got a really good defense, and Tennessee's offense is a little shaky outside of Derrick Henry. Being someone who has Woods and almost every other player on the Tennessee offense on several dynasty leagues, it's not good. But I think against Green Bay though, I think that they could get it done, keep it close. So I'll go Tennessee. All right, next up, Cleveland at Buffalo. This one's going to be interesting. I've heard that there might be a chance for lots of snow for this game. I think latest forecast I saw are somewhere around over 2 feet of snow, I think.
Oh, God.
Yeah, lake effect, baby. Last I heard a couple days ago, I think that's going to happen. This is really interesting. That line is crazy. Buffalo 8.5 points. Cleveland hasn't been doing good, but I think I might take them to cover the spread there. Like Buffalo's been looking a little shaky the last couple of games. I think Cleveland can pull it within 8.5 points. So I'll pick Cleveland.
I'm thinking the same thing, dude, which is like really frustrating because like I don't think they'll win. I can see how this game flops and Buffalo wins by 9 or 14 or whatever. But Cleveland has that run game and Buffalo does not. So I guess I'm going to go with Cleveland as well.
I'm going with Cleveland. Let's make it a sweep. The reason I like them is because of the weather and also because I don't know if you guys agree, but it looked like Josh Allen's kind of like got a little Philip Rivers in his throwing motion now. Like it just didn't look completely normal to me. I think that they'll try to manage that. Buffalo plays on Thanksgiving as well, back-to-back games for them, 4 days. So I think it'll be a closer game than 8.5. Going on to our next game, we have Indianapolis hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 6.5 point favorites. I'm taking the Eagles in this game. I'm giving the 6.5. I think the Eagles are a motivated team. I think the Colts are coming off an emotional high, new head coach, win, all that other stuff. Philly on the road in this game will be focused and going to go ahead and give this 6.5 points. I think they definitely win double digits in this game.
I think I'm going to go as well. I don't think I think the Washington game last week with Philadelphia, I think it was kind of an outlier. I kind of expect them to handle business against the Indianapolis team that isn't very good. So I'll go Philly as well.
Another sweep. Philadelphia it is for me. I think 6.5 points is actually kind of nice. They need to get that touchdown, but I think they'll easily score the points that they need and not have a second, embarrassing game in a row. Next up, Washington at Houston. Washington, 3.5 point favorite, coming off their win to knock off the only undefeated team left. I think Washington's going to keep rolling. I think it can keep stacking, sort of, particularly against a Houston team where I think they're just going to run right down their throats and be successful.
Yes. I think we've agreed on every single game so far, which I do not like. And I'm going to keep it going here. I think that, in games where, trash plays trash, take the points. Alec, I'm trying to switch that philosophy up. Like, I like that a little bit. But I'm saying when trash plays trash, or if it's just an even game, which I see this being kind of an even game, take the best unit on the field. The best unit on this field is that Washington front four. That's who I think will dominate this game. As you mentioned, the Washington running game looks like it has some life against the Texans defense, which isn't very good. Give me Washington. I'll be more than happy to give that 3.5 points.
Now that you called it out, Jason, I don't know if I'm going to continue to sweep. I feel like I got to
Ooh.
break the cycle here. So I'll go Houston. I think that they've been playing somewhat close in a couple of games recently. They just really haven't had as many swing their way. I've been on record here. I don't really like Washington as a team. It's just they're a little all over the place. So I'll pick Houston. What the heck? And if not, then I'm still 4-9 or whatever my record was last week. No big deal. All right, next up we've got Carolina at Baltimore. Man, Baltimore favored by 12. Ooh-wee. Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to be made a liar. I told these guys, Alec and K-Fish in our group chat a couple of weeks ago, I said the Ravens could be Carolina like 70-3, and it would be an amazing game. I'm going to go. I don't know if they're going to score 70, but I'm going to go Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable they won't score 70, but I can see a 4 in front, and I think it's going to be a shootout. I could see a path where Baltimore covers the over under by themselves, which is 42. I would pick the under realistically, but there's definitely a path. And even though Baltimore is the biggest spread this week, I feel pretty confident that they're going to be able to pull this one off.
I like the Ravens in this one. Obviously, biggest favorite of the week, but I am going to take them to cover as well. So I agree with you guys. I don't like this game. This is a game I would not bet if I had to choose, if we weren't picking every game, because we've seen the Ravens at least 3 times this year. Mike McDonald will give up those garbage touchdowns. So you saw it week 1 against the Jets. You saw it the Tampa Bay game and the New Orleans game, the last 2 games, I believe.
Yeah.
Where he's not going full out wink, bro. Like if we got that game won, he's not pressing the issue, trying to run up his stats and this and that. He's going to let his guys lay back, rally to the ball, tackle, take that 5-minute drive off the clock. So I could definitely see a scenario where the Ravens are up, I don't know, 17 and give up a late touchdown, and blow this spread. But despite that, going with the Ravens, better team. Whenever it's a big point spread like this, I try not to figure out whether they're going to win by 10 or win by 14. I'm just going to take the team that I think is going to score the most points. Next game, very interesting game, actually. Chicago at Atlanta. Atlanta is a 3-point favorite. Disappointed in Atlanta's outing against Carolina. I thought Carolina was clearly the better team that night. And really, both teams showed me that they were one-dimensional with the running game and the limited quarterback play. Mariota, PJ Walker. It was just kind of a really, especially ugly Thursday game. Chicago's finding their mojo. I don't like road teams, usually stick to the home team, but I'm going to hammer Chicago on this one. I really like Chicago. I don't think Atlanta has the ability to put up big points, even against a Chicago defense that has its issues. Give me Justin Fields. Give me David Montgomery. Khalil Herbert, by the way, on injured reserve. So it's the David Montgomery show for your fantasy teams out there. Bonus content from Huddle It Up Films.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I do like Chicago in this matchup. They've been, turning a lot of heads the last couple of weeks. But that said, I mean, they've had a loss 2 weeks in a row. It looks like, um, the Miami week 9, and then close 1 point game against Detroit. Um, Atlanta, I think, is been a surprising team. They've been staying close in some games. We had a push a couple of weeks ago from them. I might pick Atlanta here. Let's see that they might find a way to hold that spread.
Hmm. Jason, which one did you pick?
Not
Chicago?
telling. Not telling.
Well,
Oh, yeah, you're filling it in. Yes, I'll pick Chicago.
no, I
You already
I
said
thought,
it.
I thought you did. I thought you did. I didn't put it in, and I want to make sure I didn't mess it up. So here's the thing, man. I screwed up. I'm watching the game, Carolina versus Atlanta. I'm rooting for Carolina the whole time, and I'm like, yeah, man, I got my pick. And I go look at the street, and I said Atlanta, and it just shows how, as the week shifts, your opinion on the teams can change, and it doesn't take too much film where you're like, yeah, like you kind of see what teams playing their best. And like I said, like you said, Jason, Atlanta, like they didn't look that good at all. In Chicago, they got this whole, Fields thing going on. I'm in the bag for Fields. I'm like a big supporter and rooter for him. So I'm gonna say that they turn this around. They cover, they win. Next up, New York Jets visiting New England. New England's a 3-point favorite, and I think that is too low. I think New England's going to win this game and win it handily because Zach Wilson's on the other side, and Belichick is a mastermind, and it's just not going to be good. I can see multiple turnovers, and New England is just disciplined enough to make this work.
Give me the Jets in a statement game up in New England.
Ooh.
It is their time. They are the better team. I think that the ghost of New England obviously hangs over not only them, but you see it in the Buffalo games. It's just it's a divisional game. And I like the Jets. I think that they're coming off their bye week. And I really think that they have some talent at wide receiver. This game could be ugly weather too. I haven't checked it, but I like the run after catch that the Jets receivers can give you. And I like their skill players. I think their front four will step up and try to stuff this New England passing game, running game. So yeah, Jets. Going with the Jets here. What do you think, Chris?
Oh, I'm doubling down. Peter is as well. I'm going Jets as well.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I mean they played one of the games of their season against Buffalo and able to pull out that win. I think if they can go up against Buffalo, they can go up against New England. That's no problem. I'm gonna pick the Jets here easy. But any given Sunday, maybe it might happen. I don't know, but I feel better about the Jets. Next up, we've got Detroit at the Giants. Looks like the Giants are favored by 3. I think I'll go the other New York. Well, I shouldn't say New York. The other New Jersey team. I'll go Giants here, even though Detroit, like I said, pulled out that 1-point win against Chicago last week. I'm not sure if we've seen enough from them over the last couple of weeks to kind of say that they might be able to pull this out. The Giants are a much better team, so I feel confident picking them.
I'm keen to hear what Jason says about this because I looked at the spread and it seemed too good to be true. The Giants have been playing very disciplined football, only a 3-point favorite at home with that awful field. They know how to navigate. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Giants here pretty confidently.
Alec, I wish you wouldn't have said that because you're so darn right. The spread doesn't look right to me. The Giants, you look at their record. Yeah, I know it's not pretty. Their record is pretty, but everything else kind of isn't. But this is going to be the Saquon Barkley show, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's an obvious strength of the Giants. Detroit can load up the box all they want, and I don't think that they can stop Saquon Barkley. So this is one of those games, Alec, where you're right, man. It seems like too good to be true. By the way, Alec and Chris, I don't know if you watched our show last year when Alec and I did the picks, but I'm highly disappointed in the Detroit Lions. These were
Yeah.
these were like my budding homies, bro. Like I saw something. I saw DeAndre Swift. I saw Jamal Williams. I saw the toughness Dan Campbell talking about, what was it, biting the kneecaps off and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? These Detroit Lions are a pain in the butt to play. Then I think they came out week 1 and won. And then ever since then, it's just been one big like flush, bro. So,
Yep.
I'm off the Lions bandwagon for now. Give me the Giants big time in this one. So we are back here on day 2 of the picks. First here on the show, as someone, we'll just blame it on Peter, has messed up and now mixed up the games. So we picked games that didn't exist. So we're back here last minute picking games that are actually happening this weekend. Uh, the first one that we're going to repick or pick for the first time is the LA Rams at the New Orleans Saints. Saints coming off that beatdown at the hands of the Ravens. They are actually 4.5-point favorites. Chris, Alec, that's too many points in a game like this. Now, I haven't thought about these games a whole lot because we're jumping on the call last minute. But I have a feeling this is going to be a something team to something team type of game. So I'll go ahead and take the points and take the Rams.
Dude, that's a good point. Like, I just don't trust either of these teams. So I'm taking the points as well with the Rams, and kind of just going from there.
Yeah, I think the health of Marshawn Lattimore, I think, is going to be the biggest thing. I actually don't remember if he came back to the game against the Steelers, but he was out with the matchup with the Ravens the week before. But yeah, the Rams losing Cup, I think, is a big deal. I do think this one will be close, but I kind of like New Orleans here, so I think that they can win by 5. Reasonable to me. All right, next up, the real matchup, the last real matchup we have to repick. The Raiders at Denver. Denver favored by 3. Oh gosh, I think like I said this on our fake take. I'm gonna pick Denver. I don't like it, but their defense is playing really well. Vegas is just all over the place. I think that they can hold off a low scoring game here, win by 3.
And I am also going to go with the Denver Broncos, best unit on the field. Broncos defense. That's who I'm taking in this game to hold the Raiders down. So that's my strategy on this one. I don't like either team. I don't have faith in either team, but I do have faith in the Denver defense. So that's why I'm picking them.
Yeah, so we had Peter picking New Orleans in the last matchup. He picked Las Vegas. And at the end there, Chris went and agreed with New Orleans to not put Peter on an island, but I'm not going to give him the same courtesy. I too am picking Denver. I said in our fake take that Denver only needs to score 18 points and they'd be 8-1 right now in each of their games. And their defense is great. Their offense is historically bad, but I'm going to just find a way that they are able to put up some points. But this could be a total mistake. I can see how Vegas wins, but I'm trusting the Denver defense to hold them down and for the offense to score enough points. Maybe they'll score like double digits, small ass.
So Alex, since you messed up, we're going to give you an extra loss for Alec this week, no matter what happens. So those are the rules, Chris. What do you think?
Oh man, I might be able to catch up by the end of the season with that.
I'm going to veto power that. And now back to your regularly scheduled, previously recorded programming. Next up, Dallas at Minnesota. Dallas is a 1.5-point favorite, and Peter's taking Minnesota after that huge win against Buffalo. That was so topsy-turvy. I was actually watching that game with a couple people, including Ken McCusick, and I thought after the failed QB sneak, it was over, and I was already running late to my next appointment, so I was like, I got to get out of here. And I'm barely down the road. Marine comes running after me to see where I was, and the fumble happened, and they scored a touchdown, and it's a ball game again. And I call him, and I was like, "Gosh, I can't believe it! I had to leave for this to get interesting." And then I parked as the interception was thrown. That's how long this game went. It was another 40 minutes of action after I thought it was over. And with all that being said, I am a little surprised that Dallas is favored 1.5 points. Not terribly surprised, because Minnesota, I think, is a little bit of a pretending team, and Dallas is pretty good. But Minnesota's at home, so I too am going to take Minnesota.
Okay, I'm going against the grain here. I'm taking the Cowboys, given the 1.5 on the road. I think that the time is like a lot of times with picks, you can't go by what happened last week and ride the momentum. Not that you're doing that with this pick, but I see that a lot with people. Oh, that so and so's coming off a big win. Let's take them this week. I feel like Dallas got beat down last week. and they're a better team than what they showed.
Yeah.
And Minnesota has showed all year that they're a good team, but not, what is it, 8-1 good or whatever the heck they are. I think that Dallas is actually the better team, and I think it'll show up in this game. I'm looking for Micah Parsons to get after Kirk Cousins and make something happen in this game.
Nice. Yeah, I'm with you, Jason. I'm going to pick Dallas here. So we're going to be a 50-50 split. Yeah, I think I'd like to see them win here. All right, next up, we got an AFC North divisional matchup. We've got Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Cincinnati favored by 4. I think Cincinnati, they're also coming off the bye as we are, I believe, if I
Yes.
recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Pittsburgh did come off a win last week. I think it was 20-10 against the Saints, but
Yeah.
I pick Cincinnati here, man. I just don't know if I feel comfortable enough saying Pitt can win 2 games in a row here with that offense that they have.
Jason's face of disgust has been so entertaining this whole this whole time. It's like he does not like this game. I'm going with Cincinnati. Peter went with Cincinnati. Jason, you gonna go with Cincinnati too?
Going with Cincinnati, and I can't stand it because it's a division game, and I feel like if you're a home dog in a division game, I'm always going to pick you, but the bye week messes me up on this one. I'm going to say Cincinnati comes out extra prepared. Not sure what's happening with that Pittsburgh running game. Not that they had one to begin with. I'm relying on the Cincinnati defense in this one to hold Pittsburgh down pretty well. And I think that Joe Burrow, even without Chase and with their offensive line looking a mess, TJ Watt coming back is another reason I don't like this game at home. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and go with Cincinnati. So this one's interesting. Another divisional game. Kansas City at the Chargers, and Kansas City is 6.5-point favorites. All right, I'm going to shake things up here. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to go with the philosophy that I just went against myself with the Cincinnati Pittsburgh game. I'm going to stick with my tried and true method here. Divisional game at home. You're getting 6.5 points. I'm going to ignore all the other signs that are there. Hopefully Keenan Allen, Mike Williams can make a half of appearance this week to players that seem like they're always banged up, But yeah, despite the way the Chargers look, I'm going to go ahead and take them at home.
I think I'm going to go with the safer pick this time. Kansas City. Chargers just too banged up. They've been a little bit of a disappointment this year. I'm going to think Kansas City wins by a touchdown.
Peter also picked Kansas City. When I watched the Chargers, I feel like Herbert might be starting to pick it back up after that big hit he took, an injury he had earlier in the year. Oh, I'm going to go with you, Jason. I don't love it. This is another one I would not bet. I can see it going so many different ways, but I'm going to go with the Chargers and break up the fact that we've been agreeing a ton this episode. I think this is one episode where we have the most overlap. So I'll mix it up. Last game, Monday night, San Francisco visits Arizona. San Francisco is favored by 8 points, and Peter predictably is picking San Francisco. I've told you guys a million times before, San Francisco, I don't quite see why they're getting so much love. Like, I understand they're good. Don't get me wrong. I just think they're getting a lot of love relative to their actual ceiling. On the other hand, I keep picking Arizona wrong. It's like one of my big bugaboos. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to say that Arizona loses by 7. And it'll be a pesky, they come ahead and close the gap near the end. Arizona will cover. San Francisco will win.
Well, this is my last time to speak here. And I just want to throw out that I have a 9-game lead in the loss column. 9-game lead over the pack. I've pretty much been carrying the show from afar. I feel like I've inspired Canas and now, correspondent K-Fish to also participate. I feel like I'm the low-key backbone of the show, like Alec is on my show. So yeah, just wanted to get some humble bragging in there, which by the way means I'm a pretty insecure person if you didn't know that. But yeah, you know what? Sticking with the point from before, just like the Chargers game, division game, You're at home. You're getting 8 points. I don't see anything necessarily explosive from the San Francisco 49ers. My thoughts on Arizona are much like Alex. Can't figure them out. Try to stay away from their games. But I'll go ahead and take Arizona at home and take those 8 points. And I think it's going to be a close game, maybe a 30-24 or something like that type of game.
I'm gonna side with Peter on this one. I just really can't pick Arizona. With so many just like flags planted, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pick Arizona. I'm the only one. I'm the only one to lose that game. I don't feel good picking them, so I'm gonna go San Fran.
Well, that wraps it up. Jason, thanks so much for joining us. It was cool to have you on. Pixel's so excited. You want to say hi too, I guess.
What's up, Puppy Pixel? Well, we can't see her because all eyes are on your. Excuse me, almost dropped a bomb there. All eyes are on your beautiful face here in like 1,000,000 K. So the poor dog, look out, look, you can't even see the dog. It's a blur back there. Oh, there she is. Hey, got her toy and everything. Nah, hey, Chris, Alec, thank you for all your support with my channel and everything I have going on. And I'm more than happy to come on anytime, especially for the pick show, because you know I love the pick show. It's nice and relaxed and fun. So thank you so much, guys.
Cool. Well, leave your picks. And you can always find in the description the link to look at the spreadsheet if you want to look it over, or if we forgot to mention who Peter was picking this week, you can go find out there. And we'll see you next week.